All right, welcome back to our coverage here at Stream TV show in Denver. Dilip, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So let's get right into it, Dilip. A lot of these IP owners, studios, they'll have their own in-house distribution teams. They'll have their own CMS YouTube account. They can see the analytics. So where do you guys plug in? What differentiator does Merzigo bring to those teams?
Yeah, no, thanks, Alejandro. It's a really good question. It's actually something that comes up a lot, particularly with the bigger media companies and partners that we work with that have, large in-house teams. I'd say in one word, what we bring is scale. And just to elaborate on that a little bit, we currently manage over 6,000 channels across YouTube and Facebook. We have a team of over 500 people working on this activity. And essentially, what that allows us to do is have a huge amount of data and insights into how these platform algorithms work. And it's that combined with then using that data to create content and really at mass volume and scale, that's what we're bringing to teams that could not have done it in-house. So it's really that expertise. We're constantly dialed into the algorithm. We have relationships with the platforms, so we're able to be a bit more proactive about changes that are coming up. And so for all those reasons, even large media companies, we've announced partnerships with the ITVs and Banijay's and Hearsts of the world. They're, handing over parts, big chunks of their businesses to us because we bring that expertise.
I assume the conversation isn't always as easy as you'd like, right? There might be the studio exec that doesn't quite see YouTube as the opportunity that you do. They might be concerned about piracy. They might be concerned about seeing it as a marketing tool, quite frankly. So how do you turn that conversation around? What do they need to know about the opportunity that it brings in reaching new audiences in a digital ecosystem?
Yeah, trust me, it is something that, I do encounter from time to time, particularly from the legacy, sort of media world. I think, so there's a couple of baselines that we try and establish. One is that it's all about meeting audiences where they are. And I think we can agree, we usually agree with whomever we're speaking with that is the most important thing. The second thing is those audiences in the last few years have shifted from linear to YouTube. That's an indisputable fact. So then it just becomes, what is the ideal programming strategy? The thing about YouTube and a Facebook is if you just treat it like a marketing platform, the algorithm is designed to actually penalize you and not necessarily surface and allow for discoverability of that content. It's designed more to keep you on those platforms. So then you have to pivot to a strategy of saying, okay, what's a smarter windowing strategy? And what we recommend to our partners is keep your first run new series and movies to your owned and operated and linear platforms, and leverage your archive and deep library for a platform like YouTube. And you use that to really drive awareness and still serve your goal of driving people to your crown jewels, if you will. But it does require a bespoke experience on platforms like YouTube and Facebook. You can't just treat it like, it's purely just a marketing funnel and we're going to put a bunch of tune in on that and, move from there. So that's our view on how to really take advantage. And then, by the way, it's a whole new distribution and revenue stream as well. Not just for the sake of engaging audiences, but that's where we help our partners turn it into a monetizable distribution channel.
And, you have to say that message has resonated. You guys, as you mentioned, have announced some exciting partnerships over the last year. You've just also announced Wendy McMahon is joining you as an advisor to help drive your growth here in the U.S. So let's talk about what's next, not just for Merzigo, but for the industry. Where do you see the content partnerships progressing and evolving? And for you, what are your ambitions here in the United States?
Yeah, no, and then thank you for bringing up the Wendy piece. We're really excited to have her on board. I had the pleasure of working together with her when we were at Disney. And so we're certainly hoping that with her stature in the industry, she'll help us unlock a lot of doors at the C-suite. But in terms of our content strategy, looking ahead, I'd say for us, there's sort of broadly two categories. There's general entertainment and sports. And particularly with the latter, with sports, we really see, a great opportunity, not so much for necessarily just all about tier one sports, but even tier two, more niche sports. So for instance, we've done deals with MMA wrestling, for instance. We also announced a partnership with Inter Milan Football Club. What we're trying to really tap into is this fierce fandom around this type of content. And particularly when you can dig into the archives of these, like classic matches from the 70s or classic matches from, different eras or players, it's something, and you'll forgive me, I have World Cup on my mind, so I'm using soccer analogies right now, but that's a real opportunity for sports rights holders and leagues that may not be obvious. It's not just about the immediate highlights and whatnot. It's really, again, about the archival content where we see sort of the hidden gem opportunity. So that's sort of what's on the roadmap for us.
That's great. Well, listen, Dilip, thank you so much for joining us, and it's great to see you again here in Denver.
Thank you for having me. Likewise. Thanks, Alejandro.